Hey guys, it's Tom Box here. Welcome to MST.TV, and this video is brought to you by Boom. This is the company, Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game. So they sent me this stuff. Here we have the Advent Calendar, and we have the Zombie Horde Structure Deck. I know that I'm a bit late to the party, but if you watch to the end of this video, I swear you guys get to watch some cookies bake in the oven. I swear you guys will be able to watch some cookies bake in the oven. So, that being said, so I'm doing a product review on this baby here, which is the Zombie Horde Structure Deck. This Advent Calendar, you guys have already seen the spoiler list of from the other channels. What I have to say regarding this is you guys have it all wrong. There's something fun that you can do with this, and it definitely does not involve a ton of hot sauce, and definitely does not involve me sitting at the bathroom afterwards. But that being said, I'll leave that for another video. But for this one, we're going to be reviewing the Zombie Horde Structure Deck. If you guys haven't noticed that your local game stores already have this in stock. Of course, if you are a budget player and you want to keep up with today's day and age in Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of the competitive scene, structure decks are usually one of the best ways to go. And for full disclosure, these guys you need to pick up 3 of to really take advantage of the most optimal strategy in them. So that being said, you'll be spending around like $30 in terms of completing a full deck. Otherwise, a lot of the cards in there might not be the most optimal strategy, but they are functional out of the box. So in my review for these kinds of structure decks, I'm just gonna do it in terms of reprint value and exclusive value. Like all these new structure decks, a lot of them are very good, especially the last structure deck that I can remember is the one with Darkest Diablos. Man, I love that structure deck. That deck was awesome. And for this one, Zombie Horde, this is the Red Eyes revamp, and there's a lot of good reprints in there. Usually a structure deck, on top of just giving us new cards, they're going to give us some reprints. And these reprints are meta-relevant reprints, so I definitely want to make sure that I include those. So I'm going to break it down, and at the end, I'll summarize where the value is at. So, you know what? Without further ado, let's get into this opening. Of course, this video is brought to you by the Patreon, and as I open this box, and if you guys want to help support this channel, check out the Patreon link down in the description below, or join MST.TV's membership on YouTube. You see the subscription button? There is a thing there. Oh man, I just totally butchered the opening here. We're gonna zoom in here a little. Okay, so we have right out of the box, we have the mat, the game mat, the paper mat. This is the mat that you use when you want to pretend to be a novice player at regionals. This is the mat that you would want to use to pretend to be not as good as you really are. And then when people don't take you seriously, that's when you destroy them, and because they might miss some timing or miss some chain links. Yeah, here and there, little things, but this is a fun game. I love the pictures on it, but I really want to join the structure deck tournaments at YCSs for the actual physical rubber mats. So, of course, there's a package here. Let's just get rid of that. Let's go back in. So, this one, it's wrapped up. It has a little, I guess, you can use this as a field center, I suppose. This Duel Links Field Center. It's best value of the entire pack right here. The promo for Duel Links. Okay, to review this, let's go through every single card here. We have Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, which is an exclusive. I'll go through all the exclusive cards at the end and the value cards all at once. So we have that. We have Tatsu Necro. Let's just put it right here so you guys can keep it in vision. Tatsu Necro. We have Doom King Baylor Roach. Necro World Banshee. Glow Up Bloom, not Bulb, the Bloom. I'm afraid she's at the end of her life cycle. And then we have Kasha. These are reprints. Red Eye Zombie Dragon, Malevolent Mech Gokuen, Endless Decay, Paladin of the Cursed Dragon, Immortal Ruler, Tristan, Knight of the Underworld. We have Zombie Master, Mizuki, which is a good card. I'm gonna put those good cards over here. Gozuki, which is also a pretty good card. Shuten Doji, Pyramid Turtle, Goblin Zombie, Isolde! For those of you, this is not the same Isolde. This is Isolde, Belle of the Underworld. Shiranui Solitaire. Oh my god, much deserved reprint. This card is freaking amazing. Uni Zombie, Marionette Mite, Beast of the Pharaoh, Scapegoat. Here's an exclusive. Zombie Necronize, Power Struggle, Zombie World. I guess it's a really good reprint. Overpowering Eye, Book of Life, Call of the Mummy, Foolish Burial. I guess this is a staple. Monster Gate. Drag down into the grave. Burial from a different dimension. Oh my god, Shared Ride. Okay, there's stuff to talk about. We have Return of the Zombies. Haunted Shrine. These are exclusives. Trap of the Imperial Tomb. I thought this was a secret rare at one point. When you summon a zombie monster and you just pop cards. Needlebug's Nest. Metaverse. And we have Floodgates of Mask of Restrict and Anti-Spell Fray. Oh my god, Anti-Spell Commonize. If you guys need your Anti-Spell, you need your Floodgates to slow the game down. There's value in this structure deck right away. So these are the two pals I'm going to go over. As for these cards here, a lot of these cards may be replaceable if you have bought more copies of this particular structure deck. But let's go into the value cards over here, which are either value reprints or they are value in terms of exclusivity because this is their first print. Alright, so for valuable cards in the structure deck, I would say the exclusives are all pretty good, and then there's also a couple of other cards that are in this stack that are also probably stuff that you would pick up this structure deck for. So we have Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon. This is the exclusive cover card. Very powerful card for generic zombies, and you get to special summon zombies out from either player's graveyard as long as another zombie monster is destroyed by battle. So you can crash your own zombies out, and this card gains attack and defense based on the number of zombies on the field and graveyard, basically plus 100 per. So that's very good generic synchro and pretty easy material manipulation. Glow Up Bloom. Unfortunately, Glow Up Bulb has now died into a Glow Up Bloom. Has a trigger effect if this card is sent to the graveyard, so it's not an ignition effect in the grave anymore. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add a level 5 or higher zombie monster from the deck to your hand. Or if Zombie World is in the field zone, you can special summon it from your deck instead, and in either case you cannot special summon monster for the rest of the turn except for zombie monster. Let me tell you the application for this card right now. You can go into a Link Rebo if you normal summon this, and that would trigger this one off. And because you haven't locked yourself into zombie monsters just yet, then afterwards this will trigger and then you'll be locked into zombies, which is fine. You want this card. This is definitely a card that you want 3 of if possible. So that being said, this is a really amazing card. You can 1-for-1 it and just special summon it out. You can pay cost with it to get yourself another big beater. And speaking of big beaters, we're going to talk about Doom King Baylor Roach. Gonna talk about a little bit about rulings for this card because it's very different from those of you guys who are playing online, and it's just not the same because a lot of people are just doing it wrong. This once per chain effect, you have to read the whole thing or else you'll be incorrectly using the effects of Doom King Baylor Roach. Now, Doom King Baylor Roach, during the standby phase, if a face-up card is in the field zone and this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. In other words, you can't just spam a bunch of them out because it's limited to once per turn for this effect. Now, once per chain, when a zombie monster, except for Doom King Baylor Roach, activates its effect, except for during the damage step, quick effect, you can apply one of these effects, but you cannot apply the same effect of Doom King Baylor Roach again this turn. So even though it is once per chain, you are limited to just using each of these effects once, and that would be it. So once per chain, well, basically, you can negate the effect of that monster, or you can banish one monster from the field or graveyard. The banishing monster from the field is pretty awesome because it's a non-targeting banish effect, so it can really throw a wrench into things, and yeah, it really hurts. And to negate that effect, why would you want to negate a zombie monster's effect? Well, with Zombie World, everything's a zombie. You can negate stuff in the grave, you can negate stuff or banish stuff on the field. That's always a good sign. Tatsu Necro is basically a Tatsu Noko, which lets you synchro from using materials in your hand, and well, you're locked into summoning zombie monsters, and that being said, all materials that you use will become banished. This is another key card of this entire structure deck. One of the value cards probably want to pick up 3 of because it lets you keep Zombie World on the field as soon as possible. It's like a terraforming. Terraforming is limited to 2. You want to be able to fetch out. This is one of the good options. And Zombie World is protected from card effect destruction and from card effect targeting. You can banish this card from your graveyard or field to activate a Zombie World directly from your hand or deck. This lets you get that Zombie World out as soon as possible. Easily one of the most consistent cards. You can just throw it into the graveyard by just milling it out with a Gozuki. You can just get value with this card, and it's a dark, so you can probably even revive it with like Escape from the Dark Dimension or something. One of the continuous trap cards. For exclusive spells, the most powerful one here is Zombie Necronize. This is homage to Change of Heart. Change of Heart is banned for a very good reason. It can just steal your opponent's monster, whether it's face up or face down. And the only condition required for you to activate this card is there must be a level 5 or higher zombie monster on the field. That's it. Target one monster your opponent controls. Take control of it until the end phase. And you can only activate this card once per turn. And during the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters back into the deck. And you can reset this card and basically reuse it. Very juicy card. Very powerful. A 3 of in my opinion, because you can definitely go very far with this card. This card is amazing. Change of Heart left a pretty sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And this card is bringing that sour memory back. Delicious. The salt of Yu-Gi-Oh players. Yeah, so this card is going to be pretty annoying because you can use it as link material, you can use it as synchro material, tribute material, you can use it for exceeding. I don't know. This card is just blows my mind. Of course, the hard ones per turn is a bit of a limitation, but I think it's a much needed limitation. Yeah, anyways. Zombie Power Struggle, a 1000 attack or 1000 loss. Quick play spell. You have to target a zombie monster. If you have a zombie world, everything's a zombie, so you can affect your opponent. Damage steppable, and also it comes with the same revival clause or resetting clause where you can shuffle in one of your banished zombies back into the deck and reset this card. Remember, if you do reset it, you can't activate it right away due to the fact that it is a quick play spell. Next up, another exclusive. This is the Haunted Shrine. Much like Call of the Haunted Shrine revives your cards, and it revives a zombie monster. But it requires you to have the condition of controlling no monsters, so that is a bit of a limitation. However, you can revive twice with this card. If you control no monsters, you can target a zombie monster in your graveyard, special summon it. All effects intact and everything, including link monsters too, which is something to think about. And if you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a zombie monster from your graveyard, and special summon it. So you can activate it from the field, and you can activate it in the graveyard. However, from the graveyard effect, its effects are negated, and you can only use it hard once per turn for each effect. So in other words, if you activate it from the field, you have to wait a whole turn before you can activate it again. And then we have Return of the Zombies. Banish a zombie monster on the field, then special summon a zombie monster from the graveyard of the player who controlled it to their field in defense position. So you can switch out your monsters, or you can use this as a successful board removal. Thinking about this card does not mention the word target anywhere, and because it does not mention target, that is a very good card and very annoying for your opponent to deal with. However, that also requires Zombie World on the field. One thing that I kind of kept on forgetting is that Zombie World really screws over Thunder Dragon. If you think about it, Thunder Dragon cards to summon out Colossus, they need a thunder monster on the field. With Zombie World, they're all zombies. They can't tribute it, and therefore they can't get that summon, and therefore you have a lot of opportunity to kind of screw them over. Yeah, overall. Now, you guys might be asking, do they need to have a monster to summon to actually activate this effect? And the answer is yes, because even though there's a conjunction of then, the then effect is also mandatory, so you must be able to resolve as much as possible when you activate this particular card. However, there is a way that you can manipulate the chain so that your opponent or you can't special summon. I don't know why you would want to block your own summon. Is that when you activate this card and then you use like DD Crow or something to remove the only available target, therefore you get to banish the monster, and then the then clause will not happen because there's nothing else available for them to revive. That is the only way that you can manipulate the chain so that they don't get it. But that's a story for another time. That's a lot of exclusive value for this particular structure deck. In terms of like reprint value, Shiranui Solitaire, a given really popular card for the zombies, especially if you go into Uni-Zombie. That is what you usually go into, and Uni-Zombie can fetch out and ditch another zombie monster into the graveyard, usually reviving that Solitaire and letting you go into a level 6 synchro. Oh, sorry, not level 6, level 8 synchro. Mizuki lets you revive cards, and if you use like it's Monster Reborn for zombies in the graveyard. Gozuki helps you mill into the graveyard. Goblin Zombie helps you search from the deck. Zombie World is amazing against Thunder Dragons. If you use it against them, they will cry, and that's why it's a really good card. And we have Foolish Burial. synergy, staple. Drag Down to the Grave, I think this is the second reprint, correct me if I'm wrong. And Shared Ride, a much needed card. Thunder Dragon, Sky Striker, Trickstar, Goat Keys, all search and add cards from the deck to the hand, and this lets you replenish your hand as they dig their own. So they could be digging their own grave by going a bit too far. And having this card reprinted, I know this card has been reprinted twice. It's been like a Mega Tin and also Premium Gold, and finally a common version right now is a very nice touch to make sure that a lot of the less competitive decks are able to keep up with the metagame. A good reprint of a Floodgate Trap of Mask Restrict. If the format ever shifts back into a Tribute Summon based game, this is a card that you probably want 3 of, which is why buying 3 copies of the structure deck is very good value. And not only that, Anti-Spell Fragments is amazing right now to slow the game down. Love it or hate it, it is a very powerful card in the current day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's been very powerful for a very long time. Now, where does this structure deck get its value? Well, I picked apart these 9 cards because I think these are the cards that are going to be the most awesome and probably most future-proof in any case. So Red Eye Zombie Dragon, just consider it as like a zombie boss monster that is part of a Synchro series. If you run like hand traps such as Ash Blossom Joyous Spring or perhaps Ghost Bell, these are the guys that you can just synchro out of nowhere, and which is great in my opinion. If you're playing a zombie-based deck anyway, this is a pretty decent monster, especially if you play an attack variant. So it's an option. This is Doom King Bailer Roach. I feel like he himself can be a deck because Glow Bloom can just summon this out with a zombie world, and with Necro Banshee, wow, these 3 cards, if you have 3 of each, maybe it is a deck on its own, and this is actually kind of the direction I would be going. Glow Bloom is probably the most valuable card in terms of a monster, in my opinion anyway, because it has a level 1 stat, which means you can summon it and go into Linkuriboh and then do your thing. That's one way of playing it. The other thing that you can do is that you can 1/4 tether it out, and you can use this card to pay cost and it'll recover a card. Overall, this card is just, in general, a very, very good card and won't miss timing because it uses an if clause in the triggering. So, and then there's Necro Banshee as the option to dig out your zombie world. Who doesn't like digging out zombie world? And that's a card that we just don't have enough of. And it can counter decks like Thunder Dragons. It can counter decks like what's the other monster? I guess you can even use it against Gokis because they can't go into Isolde if you have a Necro, you have a zombie world on the field. So Necro Banshee can help you fetch that out. It gets pretty annoying, and it just changes up what people can and cannot search, and just messes up their link plays. Good card in general. Of course, there's a zombie Necronize. Necronize, if a level 5 or higher zombie, yeah, you get that change of heart effect where it's just really unexpected disruption because we don't expect disruption at that level. It's so free. So this is like the combo package right there, and the return of the zombies is considered, for me, I consider it as a way to banish a zombie that your opponent controls, non-targeting. So even through a lot of the protection of, like, I don't know, if a monster has like a targeting protection effect or cannot be destroyed, this is one of those options to remove those particular monsters. And as for the remaining 3 here, we have Anti-Spell Fragments, Shared Ride, and Mask Restrict. These are 3 cards that you should have a playset of anyway. Well, that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys got a comment you want to leave down in the comment section below, leave it down there and I would love to read it. Aside from that, what do you guys think about the Zombie Horde structure deck? Are you guys going to pick up a couple of these? Are you going to recommend a friend to try it out? If you have a friend that's just going into the game and they are not dropping a ton of money into the game and they still want to have a good time, triple structure deck is always the way to go. Like Lair of Darkness, that one was an amazing structure deck, and this one, I feel like it can be the same way. It seems like it's a very fun thing. It's not just all about doing the same combo over and over again, but this one offers a bit more variety. And there you have it. That's my review of the structure deck. If you guys enjoyed it, hit me up with a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, well, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you want to join up, become the first member of MST.TV, hit that button down there. I'm working on badges and stuff like that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I have this whole list of content already planned out, and hopefully I don't have to do too many more review videos where the package comes a bit late. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but this is my spin on a review, so that is all I got. If you guys enjoy it, I'll see you guys in the next one. Now we proceed to the end phase. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.